After a serious car accident, Ms. Tricia Barker was taken to the hospital where she had a remarkable near-death experience.
When I went into emergency spinal surgery, I lifted up out of my body and I saw my body on the operating table. And I have to tell you, I knew with absolute certainty that the spiritual form goes on. Our spirit, our soul continues on long after the body has deceased.
Angels in the Operating Room, Tricia Barker's Near-Death Experience, Part 1 of 4. Continue watching to find out more.
On today's program, we'll hear from Ms. Tricia Barker, an English professor at Tarrant County College in Fort Worth, Texas, USA, a near-death experiencer. Ms. Barker is the author of Angels in the OR. She is also an acclaimed speaker, has been interviewed widely, and hosts a popular podcast series featuring interviews about near-death experiences. During her college years, Ms. Barker had a serious car accident and nearly lost her life. In the emergency operating room, she had an experience that completely transformed her.
When I went into emergency spinal surgery, I lifted up out of my body and I saw my body on the operating table, and it was very bloody and there was lots of blood on the operating table. The surgeons were busy at work. And then I looked up and I saw these amazing angels. I didn't know what to call them. I called them beings, light beings, but they were highly intelligent. And I knew that they were there for my benefit. And I have to tell you, I was surprised by these angels. They were unusual. They were full of light, full of intelligence. And they said this one thing, they said, "Watch this." And they sent this light through the back of the surgeons into their hands. And my whole body filled up with this light. And I knew it was healing. I knew that I'd walk again. I knew that everything would be fine, because going into surgery, I had lost feeling in one of my legs. And I was a bit afraid that I was not going to walk. And those angels assured me that I'd walk, I'd live a normal life, everything would be fine. And I had to wonder, did the surgeons know that these angels were working through them? Later, I asked them and they did not know, but I found it amusing that these brilliant neurosurgeons were assisted by the other side. At some point, though, my heart stopped and I heard that beeping sound that signaled that my heart had stopped during surgery, and I knew that I was dead. And I have to tell you, I didn't feel any sadness for the body. I didn't feel anything other than, okay, I'm done with that. Let's see what's next. And I was excited to be this spiritual form.
While out of her body, Mrs. Barker realized that she could observe normal events and experience that scientists call veridical perception. She also felt a heightened sense of connection with other beings, as she explained further.
I went through the operating room and I was in the hospital waiting room area, and my stepdad got a candy bar from the vending machine. I thought he was a health nut. I didn't think he ate things like that. and so I thought it was kind of funny to see him get that candy bar. But later, I verified that, after I came out of the near-death experience. The more exciting parts of the near-death experience, though, occurred when I left the hospital and I began to feel this oneness with everyone I had ever known. So if you think about just people you briefly talked with, you've just said hello to, had a short conversation with, whatever, I felt this love for them and this connection. And I think that's the soul's true mission and true journey, is just to experience and express love. And that was what I gave to the world as I was leaving the world. I was like, I love you, have a good life, be peaceful. Then I felt this transition, which was kind of like a tunnel. And I quickly went through this tunnel and I was in this cosmos-like area with lots of stars. I felt the presence of God at that point. And I say divine intelligence. That's the God that I felt, was this loving, divine intelligence that showed me some things about my life. the thing that God showed me was my life in quick review.
But in heaven, Miss Barker learned many lessons, including a very important one.
I was pulled through this tunnel very quickly and then into this realm of God. And in that realm, I quickly saw my life. And I saw that there were times I was judgmental of others for silly reasons. And I didn't like them for this reason or that reason. They weren't at the same college as me, or they didn't like the same things as me. And God said, look into people's hearts. See how they prayed for you. See how they were good. And I saw this couple that was a little bit older than me at the time. And they were so lovely. They were just beautiful people. And I thought, oh, I need to look at people's hearts. I need to see them for who they are. And that was my big lesson, was come back to this world, see people's hearts, know their goodness, and be different in that way.
Next, Miss Barker shares her incredible experience communicating with God as she learned about her life's purpose.
Then I transitioned into this beautiful realm, which looked like heaven or a holding place, one might say. The grass was greener than anything I'd ever seen. So here on earth, we have decay, we have death, we have the sun beats down on the grass too hard and it becomes brown. There it was perfect. It was just glowing with life and love. And this realm, I floated there and I felt like a little child. I felt happy. I was beginning to hear these messages like, love is all that matters. And I thought, okay, love is all that matters. Remind them to go to nature and be like a little child. These were some messages that God thought they were important for me to remember. In this technological age, I think remind them to go to nature is more important than we realize. It's very important. But at that time, I just thought, okay, this is a beautiful place. My grandfather showed up at that time and he was glowing too. He would look like he was in his 30s, maybe mid 30s. His skin glowed, his eyes glowed. He was full of love. And I felt comforted that he was there in that place with me. We spent some time together. And then he said, would you like to continue on? And when he said, do you want to continue on? I knew that meant go closer to God. And my soul just leapt forward and rushed toward God because God was so magnetic. I knew that I belonged there. I knew that that was my true home, that everything that had happened on earth before didn't matter. Any pain, any sadness, any sickness, none of it mattered in that presence of God. It was all love, all beauty. I could feel people's prayers trying to pull me back. And I remember thinking, no, I could feel all their thoughts and what they were saying. And I was like, okay, that's beautiful, but there's God. I've got to keep going. And as I was flying toward this love of God, I didn't want to return. I did not want to return to this body. I did not want to come back or continue. But at some point, there was a barrier. And I felt everything is communicated telepathically. So there's not real words, but it kind of boomed in me, this idea of God, this voice of God. And in that moment, I realized, okay, I've got to stop. And there was a barrier. And God said, look down. And there was this river. And I knew this river represented this river of life. And there were souls. And some of the souls were light-filled. And some of them had a cover over them, which was like a darkness. And that darkness I knew was just fear. And I saw that I had to be a teacher. And I had to return. And I had to teach others to live in love and not in fear. And I saw that I was going to do that in a public school and college setting. And I remember thinking, oh, no, God, no, I don't want to be a teacher. That's not what I want to do. And God just kind of laughed. And then I felt this wind kind of again pull me against my will back toward my body.
Wow, what an amazing heavenly encounter. We thank Ms. Tricia Barker for sharing her precious out-of-body experience with our viewers.
For more information about Ms. Tricia Barker, please visit triciabarkernde.com.